Welcome to this week's personal social assignment. It is going to be the differences between renting and owning a home. It is another FDIC assignment, so you will have to score an 80% or better in order to get credit. If you don't score the 80% or better, you can always click View Score at the end, and it will give feedback to each of the questions. And you can always submit the quiz as many times possible in order to get that 80% or better. So to start off, I'm going to go over a few key points. To begin, we'll talk about advantages of renting an apartment, such as a renter, you are not responsible for any of the maintenance in the apartment. If the air conditioner breaks down, that's going to be the responsibility of the landlord. If there's a water pipe that bursts, that's going to be the responsibility of the landlord. Another advantage is the fact that once the agreement is up, you can choose to move or you can choose to stay. So if you like where you live, you can always re-sign another lease. Or if you're not happy with where you live, you can always move after the lease is over. There's also no extra fees associated with a lease, such as with owning a home. Those fees could be property taxes, homeowners insurance, homeowners association fees. But there are disadvantages to renting as well. Like I said earlier, when your lease is up, if you decide to re-sign, then your landlord could possibly raise the rent to match the market rate of rent during that time. And also, you do not build equity when you rent, just like you would build equity if you were to own a piece of property or own a home. So the advantages of owning a home is you own that home outright once that mortgage is paid in full. With that, you will have any equity build up from any of the increase in the property value during the time. So as the property value increases because you own that home, then your wealth increases as well. Disadvantages of owning a home, though, if you're not satisfied with where you are living, it's not as easy to just get up and move. So you are more committed to your home when you buy it. And there are extra costs, such as maintenance on if anything breaks on the home. You are responsible for paying for it or getting it repaired. You're also responsible for homeowners insurance, which is required by the mortgage company, and also property taxes, which is required by the state and county. So if you were to go and rent an apartment, you do need to sign a lease. The lease is a legal document. It is a rental agreement between you and the landlord. And in that agreement, you agree to pay a certain amount over a period of time. This could be typically a year. At the end of that, a new lease may be required. So when you are going to sign a lease, you will need to make sure you have the first month's rent and also a security deposit that may cover any damage to the apartment, whether it be from a pet or whether it be anything to the walls where it may need to be repaired or repainted. This will come out of your security deposit when you end up moving. So things to consider when renting and your expenses is you want to make sure that your rent is no more than 30% of your income, because you will be responsible for your rent plus your other living expenses. And you want to also take in consideration if you plan on having pets, there might be an increase in your rent, or if you have any additional areas that may have off-street parking, any storage areas, they might be included as extra in your rent. You're also going to be responsible for utilities. Some rental places will include water, sewer, and trash. However, you're typically always going to be responsible for your electric bill. So ask the place you're renting from if they include any utilities, and that could be something that would be included in your rent. And then finally, you have renter's insurance. This is going to be something that could be optional. However, it is important to think about, well, if what happens if any of your belongings get damaged, or if there is a fire or a theft in your area, then renter's insurance can cover any losses. So just like with an apartment, there's going to be costs associated with buying a home. Typically, the initial cost is the down payment of the home. That is going to be between 3 and 20%, depending on your credit, also depending on if you're a first-time home buyer. There's going to be closing costs associated with your loan or your mortgage. And this is going to include any of the inspection fees, titling, insurance, and any attorney fees for any documents that are completed on buying the home. And then you're going to have your mortgage. Your mortgage is the loan for the home. So just like with an apartment, you want to try to stay under that 1/3 amount of your income in order to cover your living expenses for your home. Um, but when you pay your mortgage payment, it is going to include the principal towards that loan, also the interest that is building on that loan, any real estate taxes, and homeowners insurance. So it's all included in your mortgage payment. So, how do you know when you're ready to buy a home? Well, you got to make sure you're financially stable. So, if you're able to afford the down payment, you're able to afford the mortgage payment, which includes all of these extra fees, and you're happy with the area that you're living in and you plan on staying there for a while, then this might be an idea that you're ready to purchase a home. So, go through the first set of questions, and when you complete it, then go on to section 2.